my dear future doctors, so everybody is thinking like physics is too tough and we cannot even crack 100 marks or 120 plus marks. So for you people, I'm going to give you a clarity about the highest weightage chapters which you can focus on the last few days. So first I will be starting with the mechanics. Okay, mechanics first I will be starting. So in mechanics, there are few topics coming under this. First of all, nothing but our system of particles and rotational motion. That is one of the chapter. And in that, you can just focus on the moment of inertia, angular momentum. And most of the time, there are many questions asked from this angular momentum. So you can just focus on moment of inertia and angular momentum. That is very, very important. And next one is nothing but the laws of motion. Okay, system of particles. Then you can go for laws of motion. And in this laws of motion chapter, you can see that you should know a clarity about the free body diagram, because most of your problems can be sorted out using this free body diagram. Next is nothing but friction. This is very, very important in terms of in terms of this chapter, laws of motion. Many times there are multiple questions asked from this part, friction, and also you should work on the numericals, because there are more questions which you can based on the numericals. Next one is the chapter which is coming under mechanics. The high weightage one is nothing but work, energy, power, and in that you can just go for conservation of energy. Okay, you can go for conservation of energy. This is the most repeated topic in work, energy, power. So in the last few days, as I mentioned, you should focus on high weightage. Also highly repeated topics you can focus, because we know that there are no chance of repeating the same questions. Okay, there will be hardly 2 to 5 questions, and that is to max you can expect the same repeated questions will be coming as 2 to 5 questions. So we can focus on the repeated topics. So that is why I'm giving you the high weightage chapters plus the maximum questions asked from it. Next is nothing but the gravitation. Gravitation also you can expect some direct questions as well. Also you can expect from the Kepler's laws. You can also work on that. Okay. So from these 4 chapters, you can expect almost 20% of the total weightage. Okay, 20% is coming from this mechanics. So you can just work on specially to this topic. And as I mentioned, NEET pattern is always almost consistent, but still there are many chances of possibilities for getting different questions from new topic. That is also there. But as I mentioned, if you're not targeting for 180, if you're not targeting for 160 plus, definitely you can go for this topic. Next is nothing but our current electricity. Okay, current electricity. From the single chapter, you can expect almost 3 questions. Okay, 3 questions, which means 12 marks, and more than 3 questions also we can even expect from current electricity. And 12 marks is for sure from this current electricity. The major topics are coming as Ohm's law. You cannot skip. Also you can go for the circuit problems, which is much important. Circuit problem is very, very important. Next one is resistivity based questions, also asked multiple times. So this current electricity, as I mentioned, itself will be giving you 3 to 4 questions, which means minimum of 12 marks is for sure, so that you can work on this specifically on these topics. And next high weightage chapter is nothing but our magnetism. So in magnetism, for sure, you can go for Biot-Savart law. Okay, you can expect more questions from there. Okay, next one is, of course, Ampere's law. So you can just majorly work on the Ampere's law as well as Biot-Savart law. Also, there are lots of equations we are studying in both magnetism as electrostatics. So you can compare these 2 chapters and you can make sure almost together this magnetism plus this electrostatics, you can almost make sure that you will be getting 30% of the total weightage you can expect from this electrostatics as well as this magnetism. Next one is, obviously you can just work on the electromagnetic induction as well as alternating current along with this. That is also giving you a good amount of marks from this category. And next one is modern physics, high weightage. Okay, this is having high weightage, modern physics. So modern physics, when I'm talking about modern physics, there are three chapters coming under this. Atom is there, nuclei is there, our dual nature is there. So among this, you have to focus on the Bose model as well as binding energy. This is again very, very important. Multiple times these questions were asked from this. And also you can go for the semiconductors. Okay, along with this, you can go for semiconductors. And in semiconductors, almost all the years they have asked about this logic gates. Also, you can go for the diodes part as well. Yeah, because in semiconductor, this is the topic which was asked multiple times, and this is a very small chapter, but individually it is having the highest weightage. Okay, highest weightage we have for the semiconductors. And next is nothing but our optics. Okay, optics is again we have ray optics as well as wave optics, and in ray optics you can go for this lens formula based questions. Prism you can go for. Okay, so these are the important topics which is coming under the ray optics. And when it comes to wave optics, you can go for interference as well as the diffraction. These are all important in terms of this what is our optics, which will also give you a very good amount of weightage together, these two chapters. And also you can expect more questions from the thermodynamics. Along with that, you can just go for thermodynamics. These chapters will give you sufficiently good amount of marks. So you can just go for the first, as I mentioned, electrostatics. You can go for Bose's law is very important in electrostatics. And if you are just completing electrostatics and current electricity, as I mentioned, you will be getting the maximum weightage. Current electricity itself will be giving you 3 to 4 questions. Electrostatics also will give you 3 to 4 questions from both the chapter, electric charges and fields, as well as the potential and capacitance. And also in mechanics, the chapters which I have mentioned, which is having high weightage, together you can just work on the topics which I have specified. Relative motion also most of the years they have asked. So you can include relative motion as well in this category. And next, as I mentioned, magnetism, you can just work on Biot-Savart law. You can also focus on Ampere's law. Also study each and every equation coming under the chapter. Electromagnetic induction as well as alternating current also having very good weightage. Modern physics is the chapter which, or let's say that unit, will be giving you the maximum weightage, and it will be giving you some easy level questions, so which will be definitely going to help you. So everybody can study these chapters along with the topics which I have mentioned. That is going to give you, of course, 120 plus marks. So focus on these chapters in the last few days. That is going to help you for the exam. So all the very best, guys. Thank you.